So WrestleMania is this Saturday, coming to you guys live from all parts of everything ESPN this year. I think ESPN 1, ESPN 2, ESPN Plus, all of the ESPNs.
So true.
So yeah. So we decided we wanted to take a look at last year's WrestleMania and just give our thoughts as to where everybody is who was on the card last year, maybe to stand up or stand down on these folks and see if some of our favorites are in a better spot this year. So let's break it all down. As always, I'm Mike, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, WrestleMania edition. All right, guys. So last year's card, obviously, as we know, was headlined by Cena and Cody. But let's we'll get to that one in a little bit. Let's start with the first match from last year, which was Jey Uso versus Gunther. So I don't know, I'll kick it over to you first, T. I know you love to talk about Jey Uso a little bit over there. So what are you thinking about Jey Uso specifically? Do you think he's in a better spot or a worse spot than he was last year?
I mean, he's obviously in a worse spot. I mean, he was fighting for the title in that match. So this is just a nothing match. So he's just a side character to a bigger storyline now. So he's obviously in a worse space. But I mean, a lot of it's his fault too, because I have my criticism of him. I mean, what he did during that Gunther storyline, that was his opportunity to hold on to it. And then we got back to jibber jabber, yeet, barely saying anything on the microphone, acting like he can't control himself. I mean, it's all gone. It was written. I don't know if he wrote it out. He just couldn't consistently, keep that level going, which, that happens. Some people get those. That's the reason why they don't get titles, because you just know who's not going to be consistent with it. We all had our suspicions that, obviously we didn't think Jay would be able to hold on to something this long, but that storyline last year was one of the better storylines going into WrestleMania. And there was some sort of an emotional attachment to it. And then they just threw it all away. And matter of fact, I mean, they did it both ways in that match, right? Gunther too.
No, I agree. And yeah, I mean he's basically a kind of a side character in a tag team match right now, right? And like those tag team titles aren't even being defended. And he won the title last year, so and he was also the Royal Rumble winner last year as well. So absolutely in a lesser spot for Jay. Sean, what about you? And give us your thoughts on Gunther.
Oh, before I talk about Gunther, I think the Jey Uso experiment is the perfect study in how not to test the waters with somebody as a champ. You know what I mean? He was rushed into it. I don't know if it was a reward for everything he had done for the company, but I think the biggest mistake out of that match for me was having Gunther tap out. At the time, I think that hurt Gunther's credibility a little bit as the monster that he is. Luckily, though, if anybody could come back stronger, it was the ring general. And I mean, look at him this year. I just look at his track record over the last year. Once he came back from, what did he take off, like 2-3 months after WrestleMania last year? He came back and he retired Goldberg. He retired Cena. He retired AJ Styles. I mean, that's a murderer's row of legends, even though Goldberg is Goldberg. But and he's already being lined up to retire other people, potentially Rey Mysterio, potentially Brock. I think that automatically puts Gunther in a way better place than Jey Uso currently is. And WWE has the opportunity here to have Gunther just continue this run and eventually use that to build a future star as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I think I'm definitely standing up on Gunther. Obviously he's going into the match with Rollins, right? But he's very likely going to be in a title program probably again sooner rather than later. But to your point about everybody that he's retired and all the folks that he's probably going to be retiring, right? I mean, the John Cena thing alone, you know, Goldberg and AJ Styles aside, he retired John Cena. That is one of the biggest accolades you could possibly have, right? I mean, you can't take that away from the guy, and he'll go down in the history books for that forever. Retired one of the best of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that alone.
the only problem is they didn't ride it out after that.
Yeah.
You on TV, he's off TV, weird angles and storylines. Now look what they did with WrestleMania. They just crammed him in. 2 weeks before WrestleMania, he's just crammed right in. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of dampens the flame a bit.
I wish they would have given that more time.
Yeah, I mean, because now, I mean, is this what he's going to be now? Just called up when he's time to retire somebody, or you just need to cram him into a storyline? Because that's all they've been doing.
for for the fact that this is a sort of last minute storyline, I like what they're doing as the actual story. They gave it an actual reason for why Gunther had an issue with Seth. So at least it's not just a thrown together match for no reason. They have at least a little bit of a like a background thing going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of build for it. I mean, do you feel any emotional attachment to it, though?
That's my point though. Like it's a last minute thing, so it's kind of hard to get as much emotional attachment to it as you would say something like Jay versus Gunther last year. But I think they're getting the most they can for basically it being 2 weeks before. You know what I mean?
But you're making my point.
I know.
Is he's
I'm
just
not
getting
disagreeing with
crammed
you.
in, and the thing that's kind of irritating is that he's a better wrestler than that, than just being that guy to just cram in, or you need, or whoever's next to retire, he's going to be the guy to do it. You know,
No, I'm agreeing with your overall point. I was just adding the caveat of the fact that at least they are able to add some background to it for the fact that it's such short notice.
All right. Let's go to the next one. This one should probably be a relatively easy slam dunk, I think, for everybody. And that is, of course, the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus the Viking War Raiders experience.
Who?
You know, the Viking experience.
wasn't that the
formerly
advertisement? Wasn't that the advertisement match?
formerly known as the Viking War Raiders
Yeah,
experience.
it was the
Was it,
Clash for Clans sponsored match.
or wasn't it a Slim Jim?
No, this one was
I
Clash of
think no,
Clans, I think.
Ray. I think Ray and Dominic, or no, Ray Mysterio. The one that Ray was supposed to be in, I think, with Ray Phoenix, I think was the Slim Jim match. But
Oh,
I
okay.
digress. I digress. T. Yeah, go ahead. See you
I mean,
shaking your head.
should we even talk about this?
It's easy. Just lump both teams together. I
I
mean,
mean,
both.
but that's the point I'm making. This is probably the biggest waste of time. Even when they made that match last year, we were like, "What? Who cares? Who cares about this?" I mean, that's when we kept talking about them not caring about the tag team division.
Yeah.
Which is
But
more or less continuing.
right, and now New Day is a joke, like an actual joke. Neither one of them can stay on TV. For two guys who barely wrestle, I've never seen people so injured in my life.
Yeah.
And then they're dragging out this storyline with
Waller.
with Waller. I mean they've been doing this for like what 2 years now.
He's been around them for a while since he broke up with Austin Theory.
Right. So it's been like 2 years that he's been hanging around these guys, and they've done nothing with it. And
So
Waller's really, and I'll be honest with you, Waller's a good wrestler too. He could be used in other ways.
He is a good wrestler. He's going to be on one of those WWE events or whatever leading into WrestleMania. I forget who he's wrestling against, but like, it's going to be a fantastic match. It's a shame it won't be televised, but
Yeah. Because for
yeah,
me, he's the perfect replacement for the Miz when he retires.
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you should,
So
he would go right into that spot. And then, as far as the Viking War Raiders experience, are they even still on the roster?
yeah,
Like, I mean, I haven't seen them in like 6 months.
I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of them are part of the post WrestleMania talent cuts. just due to the fact that they're not being used at all between Eric and Ivar. I mean, the WWE still needs tag teams because they don't have a ton of established ones, especially on Raw. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were released. As far as the New Day goes, you're right though, T. People that are injured as much as they are. I have no doubt that that plays a role in why the Grayson Waller stuff hasn't continued. It seemed for a little while there like they were going to have Kofi do something with Javon Evans that was going to lead into maybe something with Grayson Waller. The fact that he was getting jealous, like backstage. But then now that he's going to be in that ladder match, they haven't had him really even interacting with Kofi anymore. So who the hell knows? This feels like one of those situations where it's one of those storylines they forgot for or are gonna forget for a little while and then come back to 2 months later when everybody's forgotten about it.
And let's be honest, Big E, when they lost him, that was it for New Day.
Well, they never capitalized on that. Like they had that amazing segment. It was like right around Christmas time last year, or not last year. Was it last year? No, it was longer than when they turned heel. So 2 years ago, they had that
Mm-hmm.
amazing segment where they like ripped Big E apart in the ring when they turned heel, and then they never did anything with that. And
Nope.
that was great. That was like some of the best character work they've ever done, ever,
Mm-hmm.
and they did nothing with that. It was such a shame. They just dropped the ball on that
Yep.
amazing segment. I think it was from December of 24 when that happened.
You're probably about right. But that was the end of New Day. Once Big E was gone, he's I mean, basically he was the person carrying him.
Yeah.
That
Honestly. And
Yeah.
once they lost him, it wasn't interesting anymore. They became very flat. Now they didn't lost it. Now they can't even wrestle the Usos. So the Usos are on a whole nother level now.
Yeah.
So they don't even cross paths anymore. And that shows you how far New Day has fallen. And let me tell you, the Viking experience. Look, the problem you have
The
with them
Viking
is
experience.
the problem you have with that is you can only write a theme like that for so long, right? And so
Yeah.
you got to either keep that theme, but re-character, change what they wear to the ring. You know what I mean? Turn them into bikers.
yep.
You know what I mean? Do something like that with them. But to see them keep coming to the ring in those ridiculous Viking outfits, it's just kind of like, okay, this is kind of 1985 ish. It was cool at first, but now it's getting kind of old.
Yeah.
Just
They're
And
not
for
bad wrestlers either. Like they're
no.
no,
not bad wrestlers at all.
no, I think they just need to just change their look
Yeah.
and
Let
get rid of
them
that experience crap out of there too. I don't know what idiot came up with that and said let's
Vince.
change it to this. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Let them
I'll
go
give you
back to being War Machine.
I'll give you a hint. His initials are VKM.
I think I think the New Day,
He who
like
shall not be named.
Yes.
Voldemort. The New Day was probably one of the biggest missed opportunities with their heel turn, and they've never. That's the New Day has never really evolved as a team. Like they've always had the same jokes. They've always had the same stuff. I mean, having Big E, I think, like to your point, was the one thing I think that kept them extremely relevant. And once they missed the opportunity with the heel turn there, it was signified the downturn of the New Day and War Machine or the Viking Raiders, whatever the hell they're called nowadays. Just let them go back to being what they were at Ring of Honor. Let them be War Machine again, and just come out, look like bikers, kick ass, take names, and leave.
Yeah, Vince has this thing for guys in their type of body type to make them look foolish in the ring. Like think about it. Everyone with those type of bodies, it's kind of. I mean, they're athletic, but those big chubby guys, hairy and stuff. Vince has always turned them into a character and not an
Yep.
actual wrestler, and that was a shame. But I blame Triple H too because he should have repurposed them
Yeah. Yeah.
the right way, introduce them as the right way, and they could still be talked out as one of the top tag teams. Because at one point when they were War Machine, they were considered one of the top tag teams in the entire world.
Yep.
And as soon as they touch foot down in WWE, it just went downhill.
on the
All of a
main
sudden,
roster.
yeah, they started. I mean, the whole point of the War Machine was this total destruction in the ring, and they completely got rid of that.
Yeah. This takes us to our current SmackDown champion, Jade Cargill, who defeated Naomi, freshly turned heel last year.
Talk about another miss.
This was right after Naomi and Jade had their thing at Elimination Chamber, where we found out that Naomi was the one who injured Jade, and then Jade came back and challenged her to a match at WrestleMania, which Jade won.
Yeah, talk about another missed opportunity here. This was one that Naomi should have won. And having her not go over in their quest to have Jade Cargill be the unstoppable machine that she is part of the problem of why we have the Jade Cargill we have of today. I mean, technically she's in a better place because she's the champion, but I think she's still a step down because she's just as bad, if not worse, than she was during this match.
So
And they
I'm
obviously,
gonna push back on you in this one a little bit. I think it was fine that Jade won this because of what happened with Naomi after the fact. Naomi won Money in the Bank. Naomi had that amazing cash in at Evolution that not a soul saw coming. And I think it elevated Naomi even more. That Naomi got that Money in the Bank win, became that world champion. And yes, she had a baby and she left because she had a baby. But if and when she comes back, she's going to be right back in the title picture, basically with the mantra of I never lost this belt. Like I get to go right back into this. So I think we're going to see her soon. I would say probably before SummerSlam. So I am given they were really trying to get Jade over at the time, I think it was okay that Jade won. And I have a feeling after this weekend, the Jade Cargill experience is going to probably take a huge step back. But I think this was great for Naomi, considering she just comes back, just has the fresh heel turn, and where her trajectory went after that. I thought this was perfect.
let me rephrase how I said that then. I meant in the sense of this particular feud, I think that it was a mistake that she lost here. Overall, she benefited with the money at the bank briefcase and everything, but the feud between Naomi and Jade, where Naomi didn't win a single match, I think that was the mistake.
Reese?
Well, I think WWE was kind of forced into doing it because they knew she was leaving.
I don't think they knew she was pregnant here.
I think they had an inkling that she was.
She
You
didn't
think?
announce it. It wasn't until August.
No, but I think there was, but she didn't wrestle very much after that.
She was in the Money in the Bank match, though. I
Yeah,
mean, they
but
wouldn't let
but
her in the Money in the Bank match if she was pregnant, if they knew she was
yeah,
pregnant. And that was in June.
no, I think no. I'm wondering if that's what it was discussed. It wasn't confirmed if she was pregnant or not, but it was you know it was pretty. It wasn't that far away from WrestleMania.
Maybe they knew she was. They were trying.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, and they're trying to take it easy on it.
Maybe.
And I don't know because like you said, it didn't make any sense. We knew Jay wasn't ready to take that belt. Everybody knew that. Even WWE knew she wasn't ready for it, but they put it on her anyway. Because who else were they going to put it on?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think overall, I think it was great for her character. And I gotta say, like, Naomi's never been one of my favorites, but when she turned heel, that was the best work I've ever seen her do in her entire career. Because
Yep.
her character, just like we were just talking about with the New Day, her character was super stale, super boring, and her heel character has been excellent. Absolutely excellent. Aces all around. I'm so impressed with how she turned heel and how the crowd actually seemed to get behind her too once she turned heel.
Oh yeah. No, moving away from the feel the glow stuff, it brought more people to her side than I think she had as the happy go lucky EDM flashing lights kind of thing that she had going on.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they should have did with the Viking experience.
The Viking Raiders War experience.
That's exactly what they should have did with them. Change up the characters.
Yep.
Because, like I said, if they were just a bunch of big, slow guys running around the ring, then I probably wouldn't care. But these are pretty good big guys who can be utilized in better ways, and they just don't do it.
Yeah.
WWE doesn't know how to.
No.
But yeah, Jade, I don't know. I think it's just kind of even for me. I don't think she's elevated or decreased. I don't think anything's changed. I think she's still on the same level. She hasn't elevated anything about herself. If anything, she's annoyed more fans. She's getting the old Roman Reigns treatment.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
she's
I
getting
agree.
right now.
Go away, Heat.
Yeah, and she still doesn't know how to use a microphone, just like Roman Reigns couldn't use a microphone. The problem is, it's going to be, will she ever be able to find it? Otherwise, she becomes the next Charlotte Flair for us.
Yeah. This
Who's going
takes
to be
us to,
tired? Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
I was going to say this. Did you have anything else, or?
Well, you're just going to be tired of seeing her all the time because she's going to be crammed into title matches over and over and over again. And that's the
Yep.
same thing why we all got tired of seeing Charlotte. They're going to do the same thing with her. I can see it.
Yep. That takes us to Jacob Fatu defeating Los Angeles Knight in a United States Championship match. Jacob Fatu capturing his first U.S. title last year at WrestleMania, defeating LA Knight. Obviously, good to see both of these guys still on the WrestleMania card a year from now. And I'll let you kick us off for this one, Reese.
I think they're both haven't elevated or lost anything on this run either. I think they're still around the same spot. There's just they haven't really been involved in too many title matches since then. You know, both of them are kind of just hanging in storylines and kind of holding on to different storylines. But as far as individually, there hasn't been really. I don't know. I don't think neither one's changed from where they were last year. I mean, it seems like WWE still doesn't know what they want to do with LA Knight. Do you like them or don't you like them? You know, you tease him as being a title contender, then you pull the rug right from all of it, and he's back to a mid card guy. I mean, for goodness sake, he's in a 3-man tag match for this WrestleMania.
At least he's on it.
Yeah, but I mean, but coming from having a title at
Yeah.
WrestleMania last year.
See, the problem is both of these guys were around the main title picture. LA Knight at the end of summer with everything going on with the Vision and all that, and then Jacob Fatu sort of comes and goes lately depending on who's the champion. I Out of the two of them, I would say Fatu is probably in the better place right now. I mean, LA Knight, until he got put into this 6-man tag match, we weren't even sure he was going to be on the card. Whereas Jacob Fatu's at least in the middle of this blood feud with Drew McIntyre, which is probably one of the most anticipated matches on this year's WrestleMania. I mean, he's been involved with Cody Rhodes, he's been involved with McIntyre, he's been involved with Sami Zayn. At least Fatu, for the most part, has been in the midst of major storylines, whereas LA Knight is kind of just like, oh, I'm going to face the Vision for the 7 millionth time.
Yeah, but those are both major storylines either way, whether we like it or not. And if you look at the overall body work, not just where they're at in there today in WrestleMania, because I don't count this WrestleMania as part of their overall work. That's just a piece of it. And if you looked at both of them through the whole year,
Oh
neither
no,
one
that's
really like elevated anything.
that's
They're
why
just
I
I,
said,
I I would agree with Reese. I think LA Knight is pretty much exactly in the same spot,
yeah,
kind of just hovering around the mid card, not really doing much of anything. You know, he's on the card, like to your point, Sean. I think that's fine. Jacob, on the other hand, I may disagree with a little bit because he was kind of just coming into his own last year. At this point, winning the US title was big for him last year. But I mean, he got himself quasi involved in a main event feud until WWE decided to completely shit the bed on the Cody Randy Orton thing. Because the right move, in my opinion, should have been Jacob, Drew, Cody, and Randy in a fatal 4-way for that title.
yep.
That would have been the right booking for that. So if that were the case, obviously hindsight, Jacob would have been in a title match at WrestleMania this year. But I think given where he is, he's very likely going to defeat Drew in probably what is to be one of the best matches of the weekend. And yeah, I think it is very much time to move this man up the card. I think he should be in a title match within the next 12 calendar months and maybe even win a title in the next 12 calendar months.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. I mean, you could tell by looking at the way that they've booked Jacob. I don't know if it's that they have more trust in where he's going than they do LA Knight, but I don't think LA Knight's ever going to win a major title,
I don't
but
either.
I think Fatu 100% is going to be a world champion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's without a doubt. But if I'm just comparing them to each other, I don't think really neither one of them has exploded it into more than what they were last year.
Yeah. This takes us to two guys who sadly did not make the WrestleMania card. One of which I'm kind of surprised, and the other one I'm just annoyed. And this was El Grande Americano defeating Ray Phoenix. I'm gonna let T start us off on this one because I know Ray Phoenix is T's boy. So T, go ahead.
I mean, what are they doing? This is one of the greatest talents in the world. And what? I thought for sure it was almost like they were spitting in Mexico's face, right? Like, we're going to take this guy and we're going to turn a fake Mexican and beat you. I thought the payoff was going to be my boy Ray Phoenix proving that Mexico wrestling is just as good. And they shitted on it. They said, nah, we're not going to let that happen. And now they've made a mockery of it. Now it's a complete joke it's like a meme on the internet now.
Keep keep in mind, Ray Phoenix wasn't even supposed to be the Ray in this match. It was supposed
Right,
to be
he's a substitute.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they just kept the same plan for the match, even though they substituted Rays. Um, but you're 100% right. Ray Phoenix, when you compare him to his brother Penta, it's ridiculous to me that they've done nothing with him. I mean, this whole past year, if anything, it was a step down for him through nothing of his own, but the fact of the way they booked him. I mean, how many dumb losses? Like the Money in the Bank qualifier, he doesn't qualify for. He loses at the U.S. Open Challenge. Just a number of big matches that he very easily should have won. They book him to lose. El Grande Americano, though, on the opposite hand, this was the original, right? In this one,
Yeah.
Master Cable.
so talking about the character overall of El Grande, it's it's hard to talk about where he is because you if you look at it from the WWE straight up main roster standpoint, he is nowhere. But if you look at it from the AAA WWE standpoint, it's one of the hottest stories in AAA right now. And the match that's coming up between El Grande Original and El Grande Dos is going to be a mask versus mask match this weekend. The fact that it's not going to be on the WrestleMania card is a huge, huge mistake. And it's going to be incredible. The Mexican fans love El Grande too, the Ludwig Kaiser one, and they absolutely despise the Chad Gable one. It's so fun to watch these guys go back and forth, and I wish that they were going to capitalize that on that in the main roster. But it's the fact that the American fans love the Gable version and hate the Kaiser version, whereas it's the opposite down in Mexico. Like
Yeah,
because Kaiser
it's
is taking it seriously and Gable doesn't take it seriously.
yeah, it's I mean, I agree with you on the AAA point. I do, however, looking back at this now, realizing that this was 12 calendar months ago, I am stunned that this thing is still going on.
Yeah,
Stunned that this thing is still going on. And Ray Phoenix, I mean, you guys said everything that needed to be said with him. I'm kind of surprised him and Penta aren't in a tag team at this point, but Penta has just taken off, and
yeah.
you can't you can't take away from all of the momentum that Penta has had in the last 12 months. And we'll talk about Penta in a little bit. So I just think, unfortunately, until he gets paired with his brother, I think he's just going to kind of be stuck. I really do just think Ray Phoenix is just going to kind of be stuck. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So this takes us to the WWE Women's Championship. And remember this match. One of these women is not on the card this weekend. And that was, of course, between our champion, Tiffany Stratton, who defeated Charlotte Flair, which nobody saw coming. And Sean, I'll let you kick us off for this one.
It's an absolute travesty that your champion from last year, Tiffany Stratton, is not on this year's WrestleMania card. I mean, she held the title for what? When did she finally lose it? In November, I think. So for most of the last calendar year, she was still the champion, which puts her pretty high on the card. She lost it, went away for a couple months, and since she's come back, I don't know who she's pissed off, but she has just like she's won matches and everything, but then she just comes and goes and disappears and loses to Julia Clean in that match, and then has doesn't even show up, isn't even here for WrestleMania this year, when they very easily could have her on the card in a women's U.S. Championship match. And Charlotte Flair, I mean, I personally think that them doing what they did with Charlotte Flair and putting her in the tag division with Alexa was the right move. I believe I called it last year as we were coming out of Mania that they were going to be paired together. I think that revitalized her in the sense of people were no longer sick of seeing Charlotte Flair. It made it easier to cheer for her, and I think she's in a better place. I mean, yeah, they're not champions right now, but her and Alexa are both on the card for WrestleMania, and I think that's a win for both of them coming in positive.
Charlotte's in a better place with the fans than she
Yeah.
was a year ago by a mile. Like
Yep.
people wanted nothing to do with Charlotte Flair last year because she won the Royal Rumble last year, and people were kind of just disgusted with her. So I agree with you. It's a travesty that they can't find a spot for Tiffany Stratton on the card. And it's very interesting that both of your champions, your women's champions from last year, are not on the WrestleMania card.
Yep.
It's kind of gross. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to add to that one. T, you got anything?
Well, I mean, obviously Tiffany's fallen off a cliff completely. So, and I'm wondering if I don't think WWE was really thrilled with the actual behind the scenes of that storyline. And it seemed like to me they were putting more blame on Tiffany Stratton for it. And obviously she's going to get blamed for it. It's Charlotte Flair, so you're not going to blame her. And I think Tiffany took things really personal. And it's story. I mean, she's young. I mean, really young. And I think she took a lot of it personal, and it kind of disrupted. Maybe they don't think she's mature enough yet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. That she's just not mature enough yet to, be held in that regard. Um, and you're right. Charlotte is definitely in a better space, much better space. She has changed the face of herself, which I thought would never happen with the fans. I'm just interested in how long they're going to ride this out. I mean, because it's only so long that you can ride that out. So we'll see. But she's definitely in a way better space than Tiffany Stratton is right now.
Yeah, completely with you on that one.
I
So,
honestly thought the Charlotte tag thing was going to be over by now.
Mm.
yeah, I think we're going to be waiting until SummerSlam for that one. That takes us to what was the main event of night one, and by far the best match on the first day of WrestleMania last year. And that was, of course, Seth Rollins defeating Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And T, I'll let you kick us off for this one.
Another great WrestleMania finish for Seth Rollins, right? Totally unexpected.
Yeah.
Nobody would have called that, especially with the way they were treating Roman Reigns. So I mean, see if you take them character by character, they're all elevated since then.
Yeah.
And for Seth, I mean, I think for Seth, out of all of them, skyrocketed. He started his whole faction thing again. He started reminding you of the days of old. Um, Roman Reigns is always going to be Roman Reigns. I don't think you can get any higher.
No.
I mean, he's no matter what storyline he's in, it's in the stratosphere. It he's always going to be perfectly fine. Now, CM Punk is an interesting one. He's definitely elevated, but how long? How long is he going to stay at this level? Because for CM Punk, he has to be involved in some sort of title storyline for most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm just wondering how long they're going to ride this out with him.
So for Punk, it's interesting. I think I am of the mind that Punk is going to win. And I just want to say quickly, I agree with you for Roman Reigns. I don't think there's really much of a change to Roman Reigns. I think he's just going to kind of always be at the top of the card. I think that's just going to until he decides to hang it up. For Punk, I think he's definitely in a better spot. I mean, for a while there, they needed to kind of do the thing, like have him do his thing with John Cena for a little bit. And, he never really got to properly finish his feud with Seth Rollins. So I do think eventually we are going to do that match at some point. We are going to have to do that match. I don't know when that is going to happen because I feel like the title is a long ways away. Like if and when Punk loses it, not if. Punk will lose it eventually, but when he loses it again, I think he's done with that whole storyline of people, right? And if he does that thing with Seth, it's going to be a non-title match, maybe next year. But the problem is everybody wants him to have the Cody match, right? So we might never get a WrestleMania payoff to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Obviously, the fact that Punk is back as the WWE World Champion 100% elevates him. Um, it's for the fact that he's as old as he is. Did we ever think that we would be calling him the champ? You know what I mean? He still is just as good on the mic. He has been impressive for being at his age with how well he's been working in the ring. I think the fact that he's finally getting his WrestleMania true main event one-on-one match with Roman is huge. Like you said, though, Roman himself is you can't really elevate him any more than he already is. The guy is at the top of the card, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, between everything from the bloodline, the way he just walks back in and everybody acknowledges him. I think the biggest problem right now is the fact that Seth with the Vision was elevated, but then he got hurt, and that sort of derailed it a little bit. And then everybody from the Vision getting hurt, so that kind of screwed up his whole feud and everything that he had going on for the last like 2 months. So hopefully now with Mania and hopefully Braun comes back and costs him the match, lets him get back on track with where he had been going, because that was also one of the better stories lately prior to the injury bug.
So that takes us to night two, which saw Io Sky defeat Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in what was the best match of the weekend. Fight me, internet. Was absolutely the best match of the weekend. And nobody saw Io winning that one at all. And I got to tell you, the biggest shame of this entire WrestleMania weekend, more so than the Cody Randy build, is that Io is not on this WrestleMania card. Maybe that will change. It is possible we'll get an Io Asuka thing added, but that would kind of be like disrespectful to them at this point. But man, am I disappointed Io is not on this WrestleMania card. But Sean, why don't you kick us off for this one?
I mean, we mentioned it before when we were talking about Tiffany Stratton. The fact that as of right now, neither women's champion from last year looks to be on the WrestleMania card this year is insane to me, especially considering that Io is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I mean, she had that really fun run with Rhea as the tag champs. So I think that did elevate her. But the fact that we're not getting her versus Asuka in that three-way between her, Kyrie, and Asuka is basically knocks back down any elevation she got. Um, then as far as like Bianca goes, that's a moot point. She's neither gone up or down, obviously, because we haven't seen her in over a year now. So unless she comes back at WrestleMania, there's nothing really that we can say about her other than hopefully they figure out what the hell's wrong with her finger. And Rhea Ripley's Rhea Ripley. I mean, as far as the women's division goes, she's not quite as high up as like Roman Reigns is overall, but how do you really elevate Rhea from where she is? You look at the women's roster and she's almost head and shoulders above every other woman on that roster. And when WWE needs to right the ship of the women's SmackDown division, who do they turn to but their best women's wrestler?
Yeah, she by far is the. I mean, for the women's division, she's their Roman Reigns. Just, I mean, just not at the level of Roman Reigns, but their version of it. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want with Rhea. Has not her. I don't think anything's changed for her. She's still, like I said, like Roman Reigns, always going to be at the top of the card no matter what. Um, it is a shame about EO. It really is. Um, I feel bad for her because she should at least been fighting Oscar. I don't know why they crossed her over with the Rhea thing. Didn't make any sense to me. She already had the crossover with the Oscar situation, and then you dip it into Rhea and Jade. That didn't make any sense to me. She didn't even have to be involved in that. Just even the behind the scenes, from things that are reported. Again, these are rumors that not very many people like Jade backstage,
That's
and
surprising.
yeah, so you can tell when they're talking to each other, there is some sort of disdain between them. This isn't just acting. To be honest with you, that's not acting. These two don't like each other, and I don't. It's a shame. It's just a shame. There's no reason she shouldn't be on this card.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is, you're right. Two of them. Like Trish, I kind of understand. Okay, maybe this, what we said. Okay, I'll give you that. But EO as well. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Because now
I,
you're going to think her as a mid card person again, right?
I mean, if you even want to call it that, it's so gross, dude. Like, go ahead and finish your point. I want to say one thing on EO, but go ahead.
I mean, that's all we really need to talk about with this match. Everything else is, self. I mean, has its own reasons, which are pretty obvious. It's just that the EO thing, I think, is just the major thing. If you're going to
Yeah.
compare everybody in there, she's the one by far that is in a worse place than she was last year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, both of your points are valid about Rhea, and the same thing with Bianca. Obviously, with her injury, you can't really say much about her. But I mean, Io had this match, which was the best match of WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. And then, in my opinion, and if you watched our videos earlier and back in December when we did our review of 2025 and all of the best matches of 2025, I said that one of the best matches of the year was Io versus Rhea at Evolution. That match was incredible. I mean, like, say what I know a lot of people like don't give a lot of women's wrestling the credit that it deserves. That was the best match of the year. Like, I mean, between men and women. I mean, obviously, there were other great matches last year, but in my opinion, that was top three match of the year last year. Absolutely phenomenal. And every time Io gets in the ring in a big spot, she just knocks it out of the park. It's just disappointing. It's really, really disappointing to me. I really like her a lot, and it's just a shame that they don't know how to use her right. But let's move on to the Sin City Street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. And Drew McIntyre did win that match via pinfall. But isn't it interesting that Drew McIntyre just finds himself in another no disqualification match for WrestleMania?
I think it ties into how violent and brutal Drew is willing to get in these matches. I mean, you want to talk about, like, look at the feuds Drew's had over the last couple of years, like with Punk and with Cody, with Damian Priest. I mean, hell, Drew I think is 100% in a better place than he was. Like, he talk about strapping a rocket to someone and taking off. Like, the past couple of years, Drew has been nothing but on the upswing. And for a guy who was fired not too long ago from WWE to come back as the absolute unit that he is now, I mean, hell, he won the world championship again. I do think that, much to your point earlier, it still was a mistake that they didn't do a four-way for the title at Mania. But I think that Drew is way better off than he was. Hell, he's in movies now. I mean, he's going to be in Highlander. And then Damian Priest, got to give credit to the guy who is probably the workhorse of WWE as far as the men's division goes. From what I understand, backstage they are constantly trying to get him to take a day off, and apparently he just won't. He's willing to do whatever feuds he can, other than getting tied up with a way too long Aleister Black feud. He's now the tag team champ with the goofy pairing with R-Truth, where 100% is the perfect straight man to R-Truth's insanity and running into Danhausen backstage.
So what did you say up or down for?
For Priest, I would say up. He's a title holder now. He wasn't holding a title at Mania last year. I think over the course of the year, he definitely, between winning the feud against Black and just working his way into being a champion again of some sort, I think I would definitely say up.
What about compared the two? Like, would you see one is up over the other?
Yeah, I would say Drew, just because of where he is on the card and how major his storylines are.
Yeah, I think Damian Priest is always going to be like a mid card guy. I mean, he had his run
Yeah.
early on, but he's always going to be that mid card big guy they're going to use in certain storylines, maybe a lot of celebrity stuff. You'll probably see him do that over the years. Um, I mean, Drew is Drew. I
Yep.
mean, I mean, he's you know next to MJF, he's probably one of the best heels in the world.
Yep.
And he wears it with a badge of honor.
He's the best troll out there.
Yes, absolutely. I hope the rumors aren't true, but they're saying he's going to come back and try to be a face.
Oh, I hope they don't do that. I really
Yeah,
hope
I
they
guess
don't
he's
do
going to
that.
because he's supposed to disappear after WrestleMania for a while. Was what I've heard in the rumors being
Yeah.
reported. He's going to be gone for a little while because he's going to be filming Highlander.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after WrestleMania, he's going to disappear. And I guess I don't know. There's rumors are they're trying to turn him face. I think they should keep him into more of the anti-hero type
Yeah.
space where he can just pick a fight with anybody.
Yeah.
Kind of like Randy, just anybody that they decide that day they want to get in a fight with.
Yeah. I'm completely with you on both guys. I think Damian Priest is, he's been in and around the same spot, but yeah, I agree with you that the fact that he's a title holder now, I think makes a world of difference. And the dude is absolutely a workhorse. Drew McIntyre has just been excellent for a while now. I mean, since he beat Brock at WrestleMania a few years ago and went over winning that Royal Rumble, won the title, in the WrestleMania with no fans. Then he went on, he had that spectacular 6 month to a year feud with CM Punk. That was absolutely excellent. And then all of the stuff he's been doing last year, just absolutely phenomenal. I think Drew McIntyre is great. Just done an absolutely great job. So that takes us to an interesting match where I think for the first time in a big person match like this, I almost feel like everybody is in a better spot.
Yeah.
And that is Dominic Mysterio defeating Braun Breaker, Penta, and Finn Balor to win the IC title. And I really am of the mind here that I think, given what has gone on with all four of these characters, I know Braun is injured, but he's very likely going to be coming back this weekend. I think all four of these characters are in a better spot this year than they are, have gone up the card over the last 12 months. And I'll let you start us off for this one, T.
Oh man, I remember everybody in this match. It was, I mean,
Dirty
Penta.
Dom, Dirty Dom, Braun Breaker, Penta, and Finn Balor.
Well, Braun Breaker, we can't really comment on. We don't know where his level will be right now due to his injury. I think he's soon to be like they're trying to push him to be in that Roman Reigns type atmosphere. Um, this injury is going to kind of slow that down a bit, so we'll see what they do when they bring him back. Um, Dom, obviously, I mean, his match against Finn is in one of the most anticipated matches too. And just because we apparently we're going to see the Demon in this match, we haven't seen it. When's the last time we seen the Demon?
when
Was it
Roman when Roman
Roman.
Reigns yeah, when Roman Reigns called God into the ring ramp, the
Yeah,
ring ramp.
The post,
yeah,
yeah, the turnbuckle.
right. So it's been a long time. So this would be interesting to see that part of him again. Um, who am I missing now?
Penta, your boy.
That's right, Penta, my boy. Um, here's what I'm hoping they do with Penta. Penta's obviously in a much better, much. He's in the stratosphere, almost near the stratosphere right now. His look alone is what gets him sold.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. His look and his charisma coming down the ring is one of the most entertaining in all of wrestling. I'm hoping and I'm praying at some point he turns heel because I need Penta Dark.
Yeah.
He was the best. That's when he was at his best, when he was a heel. I'm going to be honest with you. You
Breaking
ever get
arms.
a chance to go back and watch Lucha Underground, watch the storylines with Penta Dark. He's completely blacked out. I mean, he looks creepy as hell because everything on him's black. He looks he does what is this movie when he break? Well, he doesn't do it in WWE right now. I think just because he's a face right now. I'm pretty sure when he turns heel, he'll do that arm break move.
Yeah, the arm breaker.
Yeah, that's gonna come. And he would do that just to ruin people or injure people on purpose. And that's how he would get everybody in the ring. But it was great. I mean,
Yep.
just evil as all hell. So I'm hoping at some point they could bring him in, let it happen, because he was one of my all time favorites. I always wanted one of his T-shirts. I never got one, but obviously, yeah, he's in a much better space right now.
So Penta is interesting because I think he's been on the same trajectory since he got to WWE. Like he literally debuted, and I think it was at the Raw show, the Netflix Raw debut, wasn't it? Um,
Yeah,
but he debuted, and he pretty much has just been straight up since then. Between constantly being in like the Intercontinental title picture to being in all of these big ticket matches to now being the IC champion. I mean, we thought he was going to win it sooner, but I think that it makes the perfect mid card champ for that, and I think he's also the perfect guy who you can involve in bigger feuds if need be. For the fact that he doesn't really speak the best English like a lot of these luchadors do, he has the charisma that just gets him over. I think that his trajectory is just going to keep going up. Um, you can't really talk about Dom and Finn without talking about each other at the same time. They've been tied together, obviously, since with everything Judgment Day for several years now. And I mean, whoever would have thought Dominic Mysterio would be as popular as he is? Like, we all remember the loser kid who challenged Seth Rollins when Seth kicked his dad's eye out. I mean, Dom is probably, for in addition to being one of the most hated people on the roster, probably one of their biggest reactions overall. And then Finn, I think the fact that the demon is coming back, that alone raises his stakes right now. I mean, like T said, we haven't seen the demon in forever, and getting to see that at Mania will no doubt be a treat, especially depending on what kind of paint he comes out in. And then Braun Breaker. I mean, hell, Braun Breaker with joining Division, he and Paul Heyman has skyrocketed to the top of the card. I mean, world championship matches, feuds with CM Punk, feuds with Seth Rollins. Like, the guy's been on the main roster for what, about basically a year now, and he's already at the top of the card. I don't think you can get your trajectory much higher than that.
Yeah, I think the Braun Breaker point is the most important point out of all this. I mean, I know the dude's he's very likely going to come back this weekend. I got to imagine that's how that Gunther Rollins match ends. But I mean, yeah, Braun Breaker, it literally went from being in the mid card to being at the top of the card, challenging for the world title. And now he
Yep.
will probably be permanently in that top of the card world title mix. So yeah, 100% on Braun Breaker with you guys on that.
Well, I give you
This, yeah, yeah.
there's a dream match. All right, this is my dream match: the Demon versus and the Dark.
There you go. That would be a
Yeah.
lot of fun. That would be
Give
a
me
lot of fun.
that now. Give me that now.
You know, this takes us to the open challenge between Randy Orton and our surprise appearance, who is now a WWE mainstay, Joe Hendry.
I
Sean,
believe.
I know he's your boy, so go ahead, Sean.
I believe in Joe Hendry, and the pop when his music hit and the look on Randy Orton's face of who the hell is this was absolutely priceless. I think he may not be the NXT champion anymore, but I think the fact that Joe Hendry is officially a WWE superstar now and most likely main roster bound after WrestleMania weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him next week on whichever show he goes to. That is stock up for me right there. I mean, the WWE 100% was taking advantage of a cultural phenomenon with having him be the respondee to Randy's open challenge, but I think that he is definitely in a better place. And Randy Orton, I mean, what do we have to say about it? Other than the fact that he's stuck in this absolutely shit storyline because of Pat McAfee, the fact that he is potentially going to be winning his 15th world title this weekend, hopefully, will be winning his 15th world title this weekend. I think that tells you exactly how his stock looks. I mean, last year the storyline was, oh, is Randy Orton going to be on the card? Will somebody just respond to his open challenge? And this year it's is he gonna punt Cody's head off? You know what I mean?
Well, he was going to have the match with Kevin Owens, so you know,
Right. And then Owens got hurt, I believe, right?
yeah, yeah,
Which is always too bad. But at least it didn't derail it completely for him. They at least were able to do the open challenge.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe Henry obviously has elevated quite a bit from where he was last year. As being a fill-in last year. He's always a curious one to me. I'm just wondering how long can he ride that gimmick on the main roster, right? Because like gimmicks like that don't really last that long. And then I'm wondering which way do you go with him from there? He's a very curious one. I like to see where they go with him because that character only lasts for so long. It's fun on the indie scene. It's funny. It's fun on NXT. But once you get to that's why it's the main roster. You can get dull real quick.
That is exactly right. You are exactly right with that. I don't know how well that Joe Hendry thing is going to transfer and translate over to the main roster. I think people are going to get sick of it really quickly.
Well, I could see it becoming like a like a joke thing.
Mhm.
I, you know what I mean? Just to get everyone to yell his name, stuff like that. Um, I, I'm just wondering how long they can ride that gimmick, and if there's a plan for him after that. Once that starts to die off, what are you going to do with him?
I
You
mean, they're
know,
Yeah.
still riding Eat.
well, sort of, right? Nobody eats like they used to. They really don't. And then now with people, when he does it, they barely even know when he's ready to do it. You can barely hear the fans even doing it anymore.
Yeah.
It dies off quick. It does. And I'm just wondering how long they're going to ride that storyline. But I mean, he's obviously much elevated than he was last year. Randy, I mean, Randy's Randy. I mean, does he go low or high? No. No matter where he's at, he's going to be Randy. Um, what I was always been wondering about this year's WrestleMania match with him and Cody. How does he feel about it? Because let's not absolve Mr. Orton of not of being involved in this. He's riding this storyline too, and he must have gave it an approval. He must have gave it an approval because he's playing right along. And now the only thing I can see that there might be some disdain for it is that guess who's doing all the talking right now?
Yeah, he's got to be a little upset about that.
And Randy maybe that's his way of saying he don't agree with it by not speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the only hope that I have. But he's involved in this too, and we're pretending that he's not involved in any of this. I mean, he's got to give it a go. I swear, Randy and Cody were like, "We're not doing this." What will TKO do?
Well, it is interesting, right? And we'll talk about Cody in a little bit, but um it does seem like the crowd, not only as the like of everybody involved in this match right now, to TKO, Triple H, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jelly Roll, and Pat McAfee. The only person, in my opinion, who is escaping from this without getting any heat is Randy Orton. Everybody else, everybody's mad at. People are mad at Cody. People are mad at McAfee. People are annoyed by Jelly Roll. Everybody's pissed at TKO, and everybody's pissed at Triple H. But Randy seems to be, to your point, Reese. It's fair. That's a very interesting point. Randy seems to have escaped from, the wrath of the internet warriors a little bit as compared to everybody else in this, which I find very interesting.
And as I said, my problem is that he's not talking. Think about it. He
Yeah.
hasn't talked barely at all since the McAfee reveal.
Yeah. That is very peculiar. So yeah, I don't know. We'll get into this one a little bit more when we talk about Cody in a few minutes here. So let's kick it over to T for the next one, which saw Logan Paul defeat AJ Styles via cheating, I believe. Was it with IShow Speed? Somebody helped him win this match last year. I forget
Yeah,
who it was,
was it
but
something involving one of
the
those
brass
pine
knuckles
buckles?
and yeah, somebody was like
Bottles or
in a
something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Can I be honest with you? Shame on you, WWE. Shame. Logan Paul could take a fall. He's young enough to take it. He's young enough to take it. Why would you do that? Why? He put AJ Styles in these stupid mid card matches all the time since his last title reign. It's a shame that he's retired right now. But I even before the retirement, it was a down for me with AJ. Because remember, there's an argument to be made that he's not really a Hall of Famer, but at least in WWE, there is an argument, and he didn't end his reign to his retirement on a good note either. It was very forgetful, actually.
Yeah.
And then it's just abruptly he's retiring.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know if you can call it abrupt though. I mean, we knew that this was going to be the end for him. I mean, it was a little bit sooner than we expected, but obviously that was planned out for a reason. I think that he is a Hall of Famer, not just for what he did in WWE, but for what he did in wrestling as a whole. I mean, and I'm perfectly okay with Logan Paul having beat him. I think Logan Paul has proven that he's proven how you do a celebrity becoming a wrestler the right way instead of just somebody making like one-off appearances or doing like the jelly roll thing of tag match, singles match, being in the middle of things all the time. Logan Paul actually is committed to bettering
He's
himself,
a weekly on-screen character at this
and
point. I mean,
he's bettered himself as a wrestler. Like the guy built himself a ring at his mansion so he could literally train. The guy's committed to being a WWE superstar. And I mean, do you remember when we would only see him for his random title matches against whoever had just won the title, where it became a joke of, oh, here's your required Logan Paul versus the new champion in Saudi Arabia match. He's now a weekly character, part of a major faction, and he's a tag team champion right now with Austin Theory. I think Logan Paul's stock is definitely up, and I think AJ Styles. I mean, it may not have been the way we wanted him to go out, but at least he went out on his own terms, how he wanted to, and I would say that puts his stock up for me. He got to go out on the way he wanted
How do you know that?
because he didn't get hurt and he retired when he said he was going to this year. I mean, yeah, maybe they pushed it up, but he was the one who said, "I'm going to be done."
Right, but I mean, we know how crappy WWE's been with people's retirements. How do you know that? They have not retired anybody in a while the right way.
The problem
You know,
AJ Styles had was the fact that he had to follow up John Cena.
but that's why you planned it out better than this. This to me, it felt like it was just abrupt. And remember, we didn't even know he was retiring. Remember, he picked up the gloves before he left off the ring. Remember that?
But he explained that when they did the Georgia show that he didn't want to leave the gloves in Saudi Arabia, that he wanted to do it. He wanted to come back and leave them at home, basically.
No, I know that. But it was just odd that he would have picked that match. Why didn't he just wait for the next time around in Atlanta where he can actually perform there?
Because it let them put Gunther over. And
But he did the same thing then.
if if anything, AJ Styles has always been a consummate wrestling professional who's always done what's been good for the business.
No, good for the business would have been at WrestleMania versus Gunther. That would have been good for business. Gunther, you didn't have nothing. You weren't doing nothing with him anyway, right? They
I
weren't doing
meant
nothing with him anyway.
I meant good for the business in the sense of he was willing. He did what they wanted him to do. He didn't
That's
bitch
my
about
point.
it. He didn't
So
do.
right. So he didn't go out on his own terms. You're saying,
oh,
I'm saying he
I,
did though. He said he was retiring this year, and he did.
but he's a company guy. He's not going to back talk WWE. He's about to get put in the Hall of Fame, so he's not going to back talk them right after that.
No,
no, I wonder. I know
Right
that there
after
was some.
this happens, and after they retire, they get in the Hall of Fame. Then all the dirt comes out.
I know
I
there
don't
was
think
some
that.
talk about him having an injury too, so I don't know if that played a part in it or not. I do agree with T. I think it should have been at WrestleMania. There must be have been a reason as to why it was pushed up so, to the Royal Rumble when it happened. Um, with that said, I think I agree with you. I think impossible to follow up the John Cena retirement. I just wish that they would have given it a little bit more time for
Yep.
AJ, especially someone of his stature with that career, right? It did feel a little rushed. I know he was going to retire this year, and I'm happy that he did and he went out presumably how he wanted to go out, but I wish they would have given it more time until at least WrestleMania. The
Yeah.
retirement should have been now. I
Yep.
think that might have been better, but
And I'm pretty
you know,
sure there's no
we'll,
way
we'll
AJ
never know.
Styles. I'm
I
pretty
was
sure AJ
expecting it to
Styles
be
would not
Mania.
would say no to retiring at WrestleMania.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't.
was
I don't.
expecting it to be a Mania, so it did surprise me as well.
Well,
But
that's what I said. They probably let him pick. Like, listen, AJ, we got to get this done. We just got done with Goldberg. We had to get this done because we got a full slate of the year. We don't have time to slide this into any other storylines. So we need to get this done now. And this is the closest we're going to get to Atlanta for you. I'm telling you, that's exactly probably what they said.
Keep in mind, though, that Styles also debuted at the Royal Rumble. So him retiring at the Royal Rumble also does make a little bit of sense, too.
Maybe. But I mean, really?
All right, let's move on to the next match because we still got two more matches here, and we got a Sabres game to get to in a few minutes
Oh,
here.
goodness. What time is it? Oh,
Let's get to the next match, which was a mixture for me. Some folks up, some folks down, some kind of the same, and that was Lyra Valkyria teaming with Becky Lynch, supposed to be Bailey, of defeating Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to win the women's tag team titles and then defeat them the next day. I'll just quickly say with this one, um, I think the winners of this one, more so than anybody else, were the women's tag team titles because
Yeah,
those have had the best year since ever
mm-hmm.
before any of the other ones. But yeah, some of these women definitely have had a good year. Some have not had a good year. But I think, T, why don't you kick us off for this one?
Well, I think for Lyra, it's been like peaks and valleys for her this year. I mean, again, she's young, so she's got plenty of time to right the ship. There's a lot you can do with her. She's got to figure out her, her footing. That's all she's got to do right now. I mean, what Becky's Becky, right?
Becky's Becky. Yeah.
Is there anything more we got to say about that? I mean, that's. I mean, she. Well, you know what? Actually, she is the Roman Reigns of the women's division. Oh, other than this year's storyline with AJ Lee, which is completely putting me to sleep, honestly.
I'm with you on that one.
But yeah, Becky's Becky. Nothing you can say about her. Um, I do want them to push Lyra a little more, though. I do want to say that.
Me
I
too.
think they need to split her off of Bailey right now.
Hmm.
And this is probably the perfect time to split that up is right after Mania.
Yeah.
I
And
think.
then,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, Shane. I was
No,
just
you
going to say,
go.
yeah. And then Liv, obviously, Liv is definitely, I don't think she could have gone much higher either. Obviously, she won the Rumble and she's getting to be in a title match at Mania. But I mean, Liv has always kind of been towards the top of the card anyway. So I don't really see this as much of an elevation for Liv. And the same thing with Raquel. Raquel has kind of always been a goon. So, like, she did get a bunch of singles matches against Stephanie Becker. So that helped her a little bit. But I think Raquel will kind of always be sort of like a muscle goon kind of character. And I think that that's fine. I think that suits her appropriately. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, I think, like you said, you pretty much covered it pretty succinctly. Liv is already there. I think her big highlight for the year, obviously, is the actual winning of the Rumble and adding that to her accolades. She's obviously in a world title match again, so she's probably the highest out of the women right now. Raquel, will always be that background character, maybe a mid card title holder. I don't think she'll ever win the major title, but she's always going to be involved in major feuds. Becky Lynch obviously is in a pretty big feud with AJ Lee. May not be the most exciting, but it is probably as high as Becky Lynch will ever continue going because what does she really have to do at this point? She's done everything. T made a pretty good apt comparison there with the women's Roman Reigns because she's just at that point where she's above everything else. And then Lyra, I wish that they would figure out what the hell they were doing with her because it feels like they're going to start pushing her and then it just drops off again. And then it feels like they're going to do it and it drops off again. It would be nice to see some consistency with her. And I think getting away from Bailey would probably do that to a T's point. Like, not even feuding with Bailey, but just getting completely away from her. Maybe moving over to SmackDown, I think would be huge for her.
Yeah. which takes us to the main event of night two, which saw John Cena win number 17 against Cody Rhodes. Obviously, I give the salute to John Cena. Great career. Thanks for everything, John. Thanks for all the memories. As for Cody, I mean, we said all we could say about Cody with the Randy Orton thing. I think Cody's getting a bit of an unfair shake. I mean, I am a bit of a Cody apologist, as you guys know. If you've listened to us long enough, but I feel like with Cody, obviously he's still at the top of the card. He will kind of like Roman Reigns, right? Like he will always be at the top of the card at this point, as long as he wants to be. I do feel like the internet wrestling community gives Cody way too much shit, and I think that that's a bit unfair. But yeah, I mean, Cody's my boy, so I don't really have anything negative to say about him.
Well, I do think that I mean, I don't know why John Cena's not retired, guys. Did you know he's hosting WrestleMania this year?
I didn't know. I didn't know. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard
No
he's hosting.
shit. No shit.
I'm so interested in how much money they threw at him. I want to know what TKO offered. I want to know the dollars. How much money they threw at John Cena to come out of retirement.
At least
to
six
host WrestleMania.
euros. At least
He's
6 euros.
he's retired from in-ring competition. He's still retired.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
I mean, Sean, really?
Yes, I mean, how many people are retired
No,
and come back?
no. He originally, from my understanding, said no. And now I want to know how many zeros are on that check when he said, okay.
I think
So
you're
I will keep doing this.
I think you're making a molehill out of a mountain here. And
What? I just want to know how much money they paid him to come out of retirement to do this. What are you
he's
talking about? I'm not making a
he's
molehill out of it. Everybody knows it. That was like a running joke on the internet right now. It's like, oh, John Cena's coming out of retirement.
he's hosting. He's not competing. I don't know that I don't consider that coming out of retirement.
He's going to be involved in a spot. You do know that.
So was Dwayne. I mean, tons of people have done this kind of crap.
Dwayne's not retired though.
I know he's not retired.
Maybe that's not the best point, but there's been a ton of people. Stone Cold has been involved in shit. He's technically retired.
My point I'm making is he said no. How much made him say yes?
All the
I
zeros, no doubt.
I'm
Listen,
sure I'll
I know you're a John Cena apologist. I get it.
I just think
Yeah,
you're
I'm just
nitpicking.
curious how many zeros it took for John Cena to change his mind.
All the zeros in Taiwan.
I didn't know he was the host until T just told me.
You weren't aware?
You didn't know that?
No, I did. I'm just kidding.
He's not hosting in China though.
I mean, listen, guys, don't say nothing bad about John Cena in front of Mr. Sean over here. Goodness.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying I think you're nitpicking.
I wanted to know how much money he was given from TKO to say yes. That's all I'm asking.
Why?
All the money.
Why is it such a big deal though?
It's very
All
curious
right.
what line a man won't cross until he sees that added zero.
It's true. It's true.
And I mean, and Cody is just in Cody's spot. Like, it's tough to even say he's gone up or down. I mean, obviously, this current feud has hurt his stock a little bit, and he's getting crapped on for it, which it's not even his fault. So,
I think
I thought he was kind of on a decline almost, just a little bit, until this storyline came in. Now, because all the chips are pushed over on Cody right now.
yeah.
They're
I think
putting the roster on his back.
I think the biggest problem with Cody, truthfully, is you're putting him in unwinnable situations. I think
Mhm.
is the biggest problem with Cody, right? Like he wasn't like people weren't gonna boo John Cena. They just weren't gonna do it, and I think that that was a mistake. Like I think that that was John Cena should have faced Gunther last year.
yep.
Like that was a mistake. Put it like that was doing that whole thing, and then having Cody just have feuds with just people way too big. Having him feud with Randy, right? Like people weren't gonna boo Randy Orton. You know,
No.
and it's the same thing when he's gonna feud with CM Punk eventually, right? Like people aren't gonna boo Punk. You need to have Cody feud with heels. Like that's where Cody shines when he feuds with heels.
Or turn
So
heel.
or turn heel. People are gonna love him when he turns heel. So
I'm trying to remember. Did he had the belt going into WrestleMania last year, right?
Yes.
yes,
And he lost it, right?
To Cena,
lost
yeah.
it to Cena, yeah,
And Travis Scott.
and Fiend.
Do you,
Fiend.
do you think they're going to start some sort of thing with Cody losing his belt at every WrestleMania?
Well, he won against Roman two
Initially,
years ago.
yeah, but he took it, didn't he?
He
Yeah.
took it from Roman 2 years ago. Then he
Right.
lost. He did. He
Every
wasn't
WrestleMania title defense is going to be a loss.
maybe. I mean, how many more does he have though? I mean,
No, I get it, but I mean, this is kind of a weird theme going on right now that he's losing the belt at the Manias.
I'm starting
That
to.
would be kind of fun.
I don't know, to be honest with you anymore. I'm not sure if it's a foregone conclusion that Randy's going to win anymore. I'm
I
really
think
not.
Yeah.
he, I think he is.
I mean, I want him to. I think it's the right booking decision, but I don't know if it's a foregone with all the bullshit going on now. I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion anymore that Randy is going to win.
I see. I think people are underestimating what's happening in WWE. I think they don't. They want this to happen because it keeps it relevant. So long as there's some sort of controversy, they stay relevant.
People are talking about it. I mean, bad press is still press.
Exactly.
I mean, why would you just continue to ignore your fans?
Yeah.
You're ignoring your wrestlers. I think they like the controversy. I mean, don't forget now, UFC is very controversial with their guys. They let them say whatever they want. They don't tell them what they can and cannot say. So you get a lot of, unfiltered stuff in their press conferences and behind the scenes and stuff like that. And that builds controversy. There's fighters over there who they wait for a press conference to say something controversial.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're applying that same logic with WWE. So long as it doesn't matter what the fans think, as long as they're talking about us, that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
There's probably some truth to that. So that is our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree with our list and how you think everyone has been handled over the last 12 calendar months? We'd love to hear from you guys. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate all the support. With that, I have been Mike, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. WrestleMania is coming up soon, and it's going to be a great week, and we're going to have a lot of content for you guys. Have a fantastic evening, and take care.